Yo, apprentices, acolytes, and fellow lords, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many other Force sensitives like yourself. I am Lord Dagovere, fam. And it's so good to see you, baby. Let's go. How y'all doing today? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. How's everybody doing in the chat? Yo, my guys, my apprentices, my acolytes. Yo, we got SJ, David Torres, Anthony, Leon, Trent the Legend, David Torres coming into the Dark Temple. Can I get, for the first time today, ready up? Let's go, my guys. How y'all doing? It is good to be seen. Yes, sir. Let's go, y'all. How we doing today, huh? Got some stuff to go over. You know Lord Dagovere is about to give you the knowledge, all the good stuff. Whew. I'm so glad to see you guys, man. You know, a couple weeks here. It's going to be the start of the new year. Starting off strong with some freaking knowledge of the Sith and the dark side. We got it all, man. I'm so glad you guys are here. Let's freaking go. How y'all doing? How you doing, David Torres? How you doing, Trent? How you doing, Leon? I'm so glad to see you back, fam. Let's freaking go. Yeah, baby. SJ, always good to see you. Oh my God, guys, I forgot to start my stupid ass TikTok stream. I'm chocked, bro. I'm unk at this point. I can't remember anything. So I'm gonna as I get this crap done. Let me get this going. But how you guys doing today, man? I feel like it takes a while for Tuesday to happen again. All right, there we go. TikTok stream is live now. We are firing on all cylinders today, baby. Let's go. I got my Grogu Sith Miss. I'm looking, you know, I don't know. I didn't check the Greatest Jedi list yet. I'm sure it's going to be an experience. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, mind you, the Greatest Jedi list is canon. It's canon only. So I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you know, what about this guy, this guy? It's canon. It's obviously canon. So I'm just going to go through it. We'll get there. But the people that do it are really cool. If you guys have not checked out Will and my boy Mortis over here, they're really cool peeps. Definitely check them out. I really only mess with, like, people that I enjoy their energy on stream. So they're pretty cool. They're one of the only communities that I like. So let's get it. Your lone Imperial, not Force sensitive, is here. I know. Anthony's always so funny the way you've always. I feel like it's hilarious how you've always been that way, man. It's pretty sick. SJ says apparently a Maul trailer will come to us in January. Made me think about what could happen. So what do you think will happen about Maul versus Vader? I expect Maul to get washed. I expect Maul to go into this fight thinking that he is the Ish. And you know, it's so funny. You know, I made this comparison a while back on the Starlight podcast. If you guys haven't checked that out, please follow Jedi Connor, Daddy Sheev, and myself at the Starlight podcast. But to me, Darth Maul is the Dallas Cowboys of Sith Lords. Every single time that he has a prime time game, he gets his ass whooped. He's practically lost every single fight that he is in. You know, I mean, it is what it is, guys. You know, Darth Maul is probably... I talk about, like, how Nihilus is overglazed, but I think Maul is right there as well, because Maul has practically lost every fight that he's been in story. Does he lose to story? I mean, like, he's getting written. All these characters are getting written at the end of the day, so everybody's losing to story, you know? But I think that Maul... and this time is fleeting. He's slowly falling off. And I think that he's going to go into this fight thinking that Darth Vader is just another Sith Lord. And he's going to get his ass whooped. Like, it's going to... you know, he's going to be up against a refined, a more tactical, a more overall balanced Darth Vader. And it's really just going to be about how much patience Darth Vader has for someone like Maul. Is he going to go in there just like, you know what, that's it, I'm just going to whoop this guy's ass because he's practically the apprentice X of my master? So I think that's going to be really interesting. But I really see Darth Maul kind of getting humbled. And this is where Maul is slowly going to start to realize that he's no longer a Darth. He is just a Darksider in this huge, victimized, manipulative game that Sidious has played the entire time. But I love Maul. You know, Maul's awesome. He's cool. He's cool as shit, dude. He's badass. Yeah, absolutely, Leon. But he's gonna get his ass whooped. You know, it is what it is. I think that's really gonna happen. I don't expect Maul to put up that great of a fight, but we'll see what Dave Filoni's story has. Thanks so much, everybody, coming on TikTok as well. So cool to see you guys over there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's freaking go. Darth Maul is him. Yeah, I love Maul. He's cool, man. SJ says, if it's pre-Rebels, Maul will get clapped. I remember he said to Ahsoka and Kanan, Vader is coming and he cannot kill. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm going off Star Wars Rebels, and I'm pretty sure at that point Darth Maul has already met Darth Vader, and he's just like, no, I cannot do this. What? This is I didn't sign up for this, you know. I think that, you know, a lot of people get really upset about like people glazing Darth Vader, but like, dude, like, he's the freaking franchise. Of course people are gonna freaking glaze the #1 pick in the draft of Star Wars. He's the most important character. Yeah, like, it is what it is, bro. He's Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. He's one of the greatest villains in all of cinematic history. Like, dude, like, there's a reason why. It's not just people glazing to glaze. All right, there's absolutely a you know, a real reason why you do that with that character. But this is Darth Vader at the end of the day. You know, and I think that he really shouldn't be losing to too many people. And it's not like that he can't lose. He can, absolutely. But I just don't think Darth Maul is really ever in his realm. You know, I think Darth Maul can put up a great fight, but I just really don't see Darth Maul defeating Darth Vader when Darth Vader is having his day and having his way, which I'm assuming he will. It's just too much at that point. That's how I feel. I really do wish sometimes there is what if series, but at the same time too, it really doesn't matter. Darth Maul was never supposed to be that important to the story outside of the Phantom Menace, and then when he brought it to the Clone Wars, his stock went up like crazy. So he's honestly now one of the most important characters in Star Wars, and probably one of the greatest fleshed out characters, up there with Vader. But even still, I don't think he's up there with Vader at all, honestly. That's just a top 10 Sith Lords. Vote for your favorite. Interesting. I don't know why. There's some random AI stuff came in here on TikTok and started saying that. Dude, what the clanker? Don't talk to me. Hello, Jeffrey. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, fam. Let's freaking go. Anthony says, look at what you can see behind you. Do you have anything in your collection, One PC, that is from OG Kenner line? Yes. Actually, one of my friends gave it to me. I don't know where he is today. But yeah, I do. It's actually a comic book store down in South Florida called Tate's. It's one of the only ones. I also think this is hilarious because the Yoda that I got, I think the Yodas are hilarious because they have a snake around there. And if you guys don't know the history of the Kenner stuff, they didn't see the movie. They only got concept art. So they literally thought like Yoda was like just some random thing in the forest with, you know, snakes and stuff. So I think it's hilarious. Yeah. It's really cool. But that's what I got. Yeah, those are the only original Kenner ones I got. Every single time I go in there, I always think about Shizor. I always love seeing Shizor. It's so funny. I could probably pick up Shizor, honestly. But I saw a freaking Kenner Revan the other day, and that was pretty sick. Yo, Will of the Force. Everybody, welcome Will of the Force. Yo, everybody, this is Will of the Force's first time in here, so please make sure y'all welcome them with a ready up. Let's go. Opa Rancisis, hello. Obvious smash. Oh my god, dude. Man, we are getting it today, baby, in the Dark Temple. Let's go. Yeah, dude, I love it. Thank you so much for being here, fam. I appreciate you. I will, so, you know what? Let's talk about it now. Since you are here, I didn't see Will at all. I'm sorry, I didn't see Mortis. So, you know, we'll just go ahead and talk about the top 15, guys. You guys want to talk about the top 15 canon Jedi? I'm going to enhance it, and we're going to talk about the top 15 overall legends and new canon Jedi. We're going to do the best. I'm going to get cooked on TikTok. You guys always know I get cooked on TikTok, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to go out here, step to the plate, swing for the fences, and let's going to go. Horror King says, who's going to win, Starkiller or Revenge Prime shelves? Bother them. What? Who's going to win? Starkiller versus Revenge Prime? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, fam? Starkiller, I don't know. I mean, Starkiller isn't as overpowered as people think, especially when you read the books and the comics. He's actually a very humbled Darksider trying to be a Jedi, which is really interesting. All right, so let's get into this. Here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Here we go. So this is our boys Will of the Force and Mortis's top 15 best Jedi. So here's the thing, guys. We are not talking about most powerful Jedi. We are not talking about the greatest duelist Jedi, okay? We are talking about overall the best Jedi of all time. What it means to be the be-all of a Jedi, all right? And this is what this list is, to me at least, all right? So we have Mace Windu at 15, Cara Junda at 14, Stellan Gios at 13, Yaddle at 12, Ezra Bridger at 11, Cal Kestis at 10, Plo Koon at 9, Loden Greatstorm at 8, 7 with Rey Skywalker, 6 with Qui-Gon Jinn, 5 Yoda, 4 Kanan Jarrus, a Jedi Knight, 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi, 2 Luke Skywalker, and 1 Ahsoka Tano. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. How do you guys feel about that, chat? I definitely have some takes about it, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's like perfect, but none of us are perfect, and that's okay. I have issues with how high Rey is up, which I've talked about before. This has nothing to do with like her power. I just feel like Rey hasn't done anything overall so special in terms of a Jedi outside of fighting a Sith Lord. That's it. I don't think that she's done a lot of Jedi things. That is just my opinion. It's just my view. I just don't feel like she has had enough time to flesh out in the expanded universe yet, or even the new movies. That can change. You know, I'm not one of these people that think that she's a Mary Sue. I just think that she hasn't done enough yet for me to see her as like, oh my gosh, one of the greatest Jedi of all time. Let's go, Mortis. We talking about it, okay? That's just my view. So, I think Yoda is extremely high. This is my personal opinion. I don't think Yoda is one of the greatest Jedi of all time. I think, for me at least, I would probably put Yoda at number 11. Reason being is because he blames himself in the Revenge of the Sith novel that he failed. He's the captain of the team. He's supposed to be one of the greatest Jedi High Council masters of all time. And in my opinion, if Yoda is blaming himself for the failure of the Jedi Order, and he's also blaming himself in Star Wars Rebels as well, that he and the entire Jedi Order was consumed by the dark side, I don't necessarily think that should qualify you as one of the greatest Jedi of all time. Although everybody is getting manipulated by Darth Sidious at that time. But I think Yoda has more failures than successes. And when I compare him to other people on this list, I think that he's number 10. That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion. Yo, what's up, Soda Fam? Thank you so much for coming here. Live test. Thank you so much for being here. Ready up inside the chat. So here's my thing. All right. So outside of that, I want to make an entire list, right, of 15. Maybe we'll do like 15, right? My guy Calcus is on the list. Yeah, of course. I love that Kanan and Ezra get their props. Yeah, I think a lot of people, how can I say, undervalue those characters. But here we go. So we'll do. Man, I really wanted to. Let me see something, guys. I want to make sure that I do this right. So I'll go ahead and go into. Is that like a notes or something? Or I just have to do Word. All right. We'll do a blank document. Okay. Good. I'm in my Lord Dagovere account. So let's do this. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 21? We ain't playing basketball. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So you're ready for the hottest of hottest takes. So I'm going to actually move Mortis's and Will's list, and I'm going to make my own. So they had Mace Windu at 15. I think that's okay. I don't mind Mace at 15. So I will keep Mace Windu at 15. But this is where things are going to get crazy, all right? And for me, Odaner. Remember, we are mixing legends and canon. And I know a lot of people hate that shit, but this is what we do here. I like both, okay? I may not like The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, but I like a lot of other shit, especially the Disney continuity, okay? And the expanded universe, the books and comics and everything. So we're going to do everything that we can here, all right? This is also coming from people who do not like Mace. I understand. I actually think Mace is overhated. I don't hate Mace as everybody else. And if you read the Revenge of the Sith novelization, guys, you, like a lot of people, completely misunderstand that Mace is telling Anakin in the face of Darth Sidious that he is the chosen one. And I think a lot of people kind of forget about that detail. I think it's very important. And I think Anakin needed to hear that. But even when he heard that, he still turned to the dark side. And I think that says a lot about my favorite character, Anakin Skywalker. So we're putting Mace Windu at 15. He's great in The Revenge of the Sith. I feel that Yoda is overhated in the same way. Ah, okay. I understand. I'm probably guilty of that. It is what it is. It's probably because my Anakin Skywalker fanness in there, but that's definitely how I feel. Odan technically canon too. Yes, especially with the High Republic. Shout outs to him, which I think is really interesting. So we have Odan. Okay. Odan I think needs to be up there just because I think that he is, in my opinion, the Yoda of the... I don't even want to say Old Republic. It's more like the pre-Old Republic, especially in Tales of the Jedi. It's not really the Old Republic yet. But this is somewhat of the Dawn of the Jedi, and he's essentially responsible for creating the Jedi Code. He does a lot of fantastic things. He's also a freaking nerd. He loves learning, and I think there are a lot of very righteous things about him, especially when he starts to realize how politically corrupt the Jedi were during the counterattack with the... politics in the Senate and fighting all of the Sith species and everything that happened there with the Republic. So I think that was a huge acknowledgement, and he was able to, I guess, learn from his mistakes where Yoda, there wasn't really a possibility since the entire Jedi Order was destroyed. So I will put Odan here, and then this is where we're going to get some new canon slash regular characters that we know. So we're gonna do Stellan Gios, who, in my opinion, is the best Jedi inside the High Republic. I love Elzar, man. I love Avar Kriss, but they are not getting anywhere near this goddamn list with the shit they did in the High Republic. It is not happening, man. Absolutely not, okay? No frickin' way. Whoa, look at this handsome man. You must be talking about yourself, Bugsy. Everybody welcome Bugsy with a ready up. Stellan Gios inside the chat. Yeah, let's frickin' go. Thank you so much, Soto fam. I appreciate it. Bugsy, I'm so glad you're here. Grand Admiral Gunnar, so good to see you. I'm not putting Loden on there. Absolutely not. I just don't think he's done enough. So, here we go, guys. Are you ready? Yoda is number 12 for me. Just because, like I said, I think that he failed a lot. I think that he has a lot of the responsibility of failure inside the prequel trilogy. And I think even in the original trilogy, he still is failing because the way that he hides that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. And I think that there's a lot of very old prequel Jedi dogma still inside of him and Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is fine. I just think that there wasn't really room for him to learn, you know. But I don't think he's a bad Jedi. He's one of the greatest. That's why he's up here, and that's how I feel. And this is where it's going to get a little crazy. Okay? So I'll put Ezra here. Actually, you know what? I don't think Ezra's on this list. I'm not going to put Ezra and Cal on this list. Who I will put is some of the following. Mitra Surik, the Exile. Okay. Nomi Sunrider. Satele Shan. In that order, by the way. Qui-Gon Jinn. We're kind of rolling here. We are kind of rolling. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I know. What is this guy thinking about? What? He's crazy. That's why, you know, hey, man. All right? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Eula Keldruma. I don't even know how to spell his name. I want to make sure that I spell his name right. Sorry, guys, if you hear my stuff. Okay, it's a Q. That's what it is. Thank you. Eula Keldruma. I think Eula Keldruma is probably one of the most underappreciated, unheard of Jedi in all of Star Wars. I think Eula Keldruma has the exact type of atonement and redemption that I would want for Anakin Skywalker or Ben Solo. I think Eula Keldruma is by far one of the greatest stories no one's ever heard of. And even if you read Tales of the Jedi, I don't even think people really understand how important this character's redemption arc and atonement arc is. Someone that was one of the greatest Jedi of all time, ended up serving Exar Kun, ended up losing his powers to the Force, and self-exiled himself to the point where he stayed on Yavin and then ended up teaching. Well, it actually wasn't Yavin. He ended up moving. Ended up teaching Nomi Sunrider's daughter help become a Jedi. And then when he dies, he becomes a Force ghost. I think it's amazing. And he's practically a pacifist at the end of his arc, which I think says everything you need to know about who he is and everything that he learned from his failures. I think Eula Keldruma is amazing. And I really do wish that all of the Star Wars slop that you're so used to hearing on TikTok and shorts would probably tell you more about his story. He's one of the greatest of all time. I still gotta fully read The Last Jedi. It's I'm telling you, man, Tales of the Jedi was that some AI shit it was trying to, it's a co-pilot crap. Yeah, man, it's amazing, dude. I love it so much. What will happen if Anakin joined the son of the dark side and left Mortis? Honestly, if he's still succumbing to the dark side and he ends up leaving with the son, I think Anakin taps into a potential dark side that George talks about, and that's in the Star Wars archives. And he essentially says, you know, if Anakin doesn't get nerfed on Mustafar, he becomes Emperor of the Universe. A lot of people take that as George exaggerating. That's fine, but I just think Anakin Skywalker's potential is stupid. He could basically become God if he wanted to. I feel like if he wasn't such a dumbass. And this is coming from an Anakin Skywalker fan. He's my favorite, so that's how I feel. All right, guys. So here we go. We have top 5. Okay? We have top 5. And I may have to put more people here because this is who I feel is going to get it. And I think a lot of people are going to get really upset about this. Fully redeemed Jedi Knight Revan. Okay? Revan is such an interesting character when he's fully redeemed. This is after all the massacre. This is after everything. Because when he's fully redeemed, okay, not only is he atoning through trying to, he destroys Malak on the Starforge. And Malak is absolutely insane in power at that time. And then he goes off in Knights of the Old Republic 2. At the end of that, Traya is saying, I have no idea where he is going, but I know that he's going to fight in the battle of all battles to end all the wars. That's where Revan is going. And then he ends up trying to fight Vitiate, who's basically the emperor of the Old Republic. And I feel like with Anakin and Vader and all these other characters, they do not get to redeem. They die. Revan is off as a fully redeemed Jedi Knight, especially in Knights of the Old Republic when you're doing those things. So all those good deeds you do, in my opinion, is in the continuity of his story. He's already redeeming. He's already atoning for everything that he's done, right? Does that fully, absolve him of his sins? I don't think so. That's debatable. But I think as a character and how important it is to you and your personal choices, and then on top of the story that was in the previous canon, I think Revan is top 4 of greatest Jedi of all time. For me. That's my personal opinion. Over Obi-Wan, who never falls, is crazy, and then Revan falls again. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But for me, Obi-Wan Kenobi is not a bad Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of the greatest Jedi. This is top 15 in all of Star Wars continuity of 40 years of expanded universe. I think a lot of people will agree with you that Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably a little low on this list, but I'm not one of them. This is just my perception and my view of this story. Honestly, I think by the end of this list, I think a lot of these characters will move up by 1 or 2, but I mean, maybe, in my opinion, probably Ezra would be like 15, but I would not put Ezra at 15. I still think there are other characters that could go there, but that's just my view on all of this. And I think, for me, I don't think Obi-Wan is a better Jedi than Eula Keldroma or fully redeemed Revan. And that's just my personal connection to these characters. I think Obi-Wan is one of the greatest Jedi of all time because he doesn't fall. But it's just my personal opinion. That's why it's not set in stone. It's just me. It's just me in my view. So I have Qui-Gon on here already, who I think is one of the greatest of all time. And then you have Kanan, you have Obi-Wan. No. So, Kanan Jarrus is in my top 3. Ahsoka Tano. And then the greatest Jedi of all time, no matter what anybody says, is Luke Skywalker. In my opinion, Luke Skywalker is exactly what Anakin should have been, if not even better. I do not think Luke Skywalker has the potential and power, but everything that Luke Skywalker has done in both in continuity is everything. Why Kanan at top 3? So here's my thing, okay? So Kanan, all right, listen to me, guys. Listen to me. And this is why I put him over Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is sitting there on Tatooine, and he has a job. He is at his post. He's a soldier, right? He is defending Luke Skywalker, A New Hope, okay? Kanan is an Order 66 survivor that is a child, okay? He is a child, a baby, and he has to go out and live in the dark times of of the Star Wars universe, okay? And arguably where it's a time where the light side of the Force is practically so hard to tap into that you're essentially self-reporting yourself to Sidious, who is sensing beings that are tapping into the Force on the other side of the galaxy. For me, Kanan becomes a man through all of that, and he falls in love. And he's doing all of these things while not turning to the dark side. Does he like detach himself from the Jedi ways and Jedi Order? Yes. And that is so much better than falling to the dark side. At least Kanan is a good guy. At least Kanan doesn't choke out his wife and kill children. Anakin did that in practically the greatest power of time for the Jedi Order, you know? And I'm an Anakin Skywalker fan, you know? I think what Kanan did is absolutely amazing. Do I think Obi-Wan can do that? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could have. I'm sure if Satele was alive, he would have clapped them cheeks and would have done things, you know? But Kanan did it as it was written, and Obi-Wan did not, you know? So it's not saying that, you know, Obi-Wan can't. It's just, to me, over time, where I didn't give a shit about Star Wars Rebels or Kanan Jarrus, Kanan all of a sudden and what he's done to, I think his value and stock has just shot up for me, and I really appreciate everything that he is, you know. I think when you look at Kanan Jarrus, that is a character, will I say, in my opinion, like, we talk about Legends Luke Skywalker, about what he did and how he made the new Jedi Order, and he wasn't able to go out and recruit children, so he basically had to let in everybody. He has flaws, yes, but I'm just talking about Luke as a person and the things that he was able to do with his relationships and not succumb to the dark side, excluding the Dark Empire series, okay? But what I would look at these two characters, and I would honestly say they're practically the same. I think that if I would say what I want a Jedi to be, I would look at Luke Skywalker and Kanan Jarrus, and I would say that's what I want a Jedi to be. You know, and honestly, as much as I love all these other characters, including Revan, I'm not sure I could say that, because Revan did cause a fucking war, you know. Revan caused a lot of terrible shit, arguably one of the worst wars in all of Star Wars. But Kanan and Luke, I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anyone better. Personally, guys, I don't know who you would put at 5. I would probably move all these characters up. Honestly, you know, I could see Obi-Wan Kenobi being 5, honestly. But that's how I would have it. That's why Ahsoka? Because Ahsoka is doing the same thing that Kanan is doing. You know, and I would argue that she's even more important than Kanan, because she's also, you know, helping the rebel cells become something. Like, she is always fighting. She is always fighting. She is, even when she says that she is not a Jedi, she is a Jedi. She's the best goddamn Jedi. She's exactly what a Jedi should be, not giving up. You know, I'm not saying Obi-Wan is hiding on Tatooine, okay? I'm just saying Ahsoka is fighting her fight. Ezra is fighting his fight. Cal is fighting his fight. And Ahsoka, in my opinion, was one of the first doing that. I think Ahsoka is right there, man. I think a lot of people dislike Ahsoka because of this newfound hatred for Filoni, and I don't understand what the hell type of shit that is. But I think y'all be, like, tripping on this Ahsoka hatred spree, you know? And I'm not saying you guys in particular. It's just what I've seen on Reddit and YouTube comments and stuff like that. But, dude, I think Ahsoka is one of the best Jedi, you know? It's crazy. I'm shocked Mace Windu is on the list even at the bottom. I think that's valid, honestly. I think that's valid. But I think Mace Windu has done a lot. In fact, I think Mace Windu is overhated. I think he's completely overhated. I think he's one of the biggest fans of Anakin. He's just so annoyed of Anakin and him making stupid-ass decisions. You know, I think that the Mace Windu hatred is kind of whack, where, I don't know, you know, and maybe in another series, Mace and Anakin, you know, Anakin helps Mace, and we see something else, you know. Logan! I'm so glad you're here. Everybody welcome Logan with a ready up. I don't know about biggest fan of Anakin. No, I disagree. Like, dude, Leon, have you read the Revenge of the Sith novel? He's telling Anakin to his face that he's the chosen one. Mace Windu is saying that. I'll get the goddamn book. I have both editions, and I'll read it out to you. He's telling him to his face, you are the chosen one. I don't understand. I don't understand how other Anakin fans miss that important detail. You know? Yeah, I'm down, bro. Like, I'm telling Leon, if you ever have a chance, even like, all right, listen, I'll tell you. Listen, you go to Audible right now, okay? You make an email, all right? You make a fake email, and you go in there, and you ask for the free trial, and you get a free code, okay? And then you cancel the trial, and you have a free code still, and you're still able to use the code to read or to listen to the Revenge of the Sith novelization, but you didn't hear that from me, okay? And when you read that, it changed my entire perspective on Mace Windu. Pong Crow at 5, get out. Get out. I don't know this guy. That's crazy, dude. Oh my gosh. Audiobook piracy, I love it. It's not piracy! They have your email now, you know? As I sit here and try to get Audible sponsored. Logan says, or you can ask me for a WAV file of the audiobooks. There you go, ask Logan. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I think this is okay. I know that there's probably somebody that I definitely missed. Oh! I'm a dumbass, dude. I'm a dumbass. Everybody at me in chat and say stupid ass. Here you go, guys. This is what we're gonna do. All right. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. You know. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. I just changed it. I just changed it. Oh, I changed it. I changed it. Here we go. There you go. All right. So the final view of this is Mace Windu or Ezra Bridger or Cal Kestis or some other character that you want to put in here. Odan Stellan Gios, Yoda, Matrix Cirque, the Exile, Nomi Sunrider, Satil Shan, Qui-Gon Jinn, Kyle Katarn, Eula Keldroma, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Fully Redeemed Jedi Knight, Revan, Kanan Jarrus, Ahsoka Tano, and Luke Skywalker. That is my top 15 greatest Jedi of all time. Kyle Katarn. I don't know why. I just completely forgot about Dark Forces there. Sometimes, guys, look at my hair, guys. I'm Unk. I'm chopped, guys. Your boy's pushing 40, okay? We're getting there, We are so back, yeah. That's my list. So if you guys have any questions about Quillen Vos, that is another interesting one. Palpatine is the strongest character in the movies. I think. Well, strongest character. No, I would probably say. I don't know. Sith God's pretty strong. Abeloth is extremely strong. Waru is crazy. He almost ate Luke Skywalker. I don't know. There's a lot of omnipotent beings in Star Wars. I don't think Sidious is the strongest character. Is he the strongest Sith? I think he's top 2. And on most days, I don't think he's 2. I think the only other character that would be above him would be Vitiate. I don't think anyone else is in that realm. But that's just my opinion. What do you think, chat? Anakin has always been the strongest. No, he's not. No. Anakin is not the strongest. Anakin is not the strongest. That's not the way the story was written, guys. Now, if you want to talk about the strongest character after he dies, yes, Anakin Skywalker is probably a god. In my opinion, I could probably see him being ridiculous. Whatever he is, yeah, I don't even know. He's a Force ghost now. He's a Force god. So I would like to see more of him, but I know people are tired of him, but I'm not. I love my boy Anakin, dude. I have Webbish Bog Smash. What the? Will, You are on some freaky shit today, dude. And it is only Tuesday, man. I don't even know how Mortis deals with you throughout the whole week. That's crazy, dude. What about his potential and all that? Potential is not a fact, Leon. Potential is not truth. Potential is not what happened. Listen, man, look, you guys know me, man. I am the Anakin Skywalker fan. I love Anakin so much. But guys, the shoulda, woulda, coulda shit is not what happened, okay? You know? You got people online talking about in Nightfall Vader, a character that's supposed to be so powerful in the Force that he's omnipotent, yet he doesn't fight anybody. He doesn't fight anybody. There's nobody he fights. In fact, the only person that he actually fights when he's Nightfall Vader is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he fucking loses. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about, guys? Okay, we have to look ourselves in the mirror every morning and realize Anakin Skywalker got clapped on Mustafar. It's what happened, baby. It is what it is. Does he have the most potential? Yes, but it doesn't mean shit when you lose your arms and legs, okay? Now he's a Force ghost, and so now we can glaze the idea of a Force ghost. I think it is better for our mental health to glaze Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost than talk about things that never happened in the story. You know. I love you, Leon. You're one of my favorites, all right? But I'm saying that as like Anakin Skywalker fan. You know, bro, have you heard of the Pong Krell Reddit? I have not heard of that. Is that serious? Didn't he kill Slime, all those Jedi, and recording, including instant? Yes. Yeah, that's actually in the Revenge of the Sith video game, which is amazing, by the way. And Syndraulic is the biggest hater in that game, man. Oh my god. Maybe one of these days. Maybe when I get to 10K subscribers, maybe I'll play that or something, dude. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Lord Dagovere, like your list minus not having Ezra on it. Yeah. So, all right. So here's my deal. A lot of people think that I'm an Ezra Bridger hater. Oh my God, there's been a whole freaking chat down there. I'm so sorry, guys. My bad on TikTok. Potential is in Everest, as in peak, but not always reached. Exactly. I forgot what the hell I was saying. Yeah, so my thing with Ezra is I also feel like Ezra hasn't done much as a Jedi. It's not saying he didn't do anything. It's just compared to everybody else on this list, you know, I think that he has more that he needs to do. I like Ahsoka Ezra more than anything, more than Star Wars Rebels Ezra. But I was also I guess I'm an Ezra hater, I guess. But it's just, I haven't seen enough from him. Sabine? Yeah, I think we'll connect offline about that. You know, definitely. I gave you the Zune. We're working in Microsoft Office Teams. That was Kiadi Mundi didn't make the list. No, Kiadi Mundi is not making the list for I always hated Kiadi Mundi, man. Oh my God, I always hated that guy. Your mother. Your thoughts on your mother. Get out of here. Anakin has always been the strongest. Maybe Waru ate the corporate sector. Jaina Solo, Corran Horn. Jaina Solo is another one that should be up there. Honestly, bro, I'm removing Mace Windu and putting Jaina Solo. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'll do. Okay? All right. So Mace Windu is off the list. He's off the list. Okay? So we're going to have... Okay, I lied. It is not over. Okay, it is not over. Okay? Because I would say that she is everything that Mace Windu should have been. Honestly. Or I would say, that's not fair. I would say would have been. I don't know. I like Matrix Zurich. But I really like Nomi Sunrider. Damn, dude. Better than Satele Shan? Better than Qui-Gon? I don't know. I think 11 is where I can go for Jaina Solo. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, Jaina Solo. That's how I feel. Okay. Okay, I think we're there. I think we're there. I think this is it, chat. I think this is it, apprentices and acolytes. I believe we're here. Odan or Stellan Geos, fantastic Jedi, taken away from us too soon. Yoda, Matrix Zurich, Jaina Solo, Nomi Sunrider, Satil Shan, Qui-Gon Jinn, Kyle Katarn, Eula Keldruma, Obi-Wan Kenobi, fully redeemed Jedi Knight Revan, Kanan Jarrus, Ahsoka Tano, and Luke Skywalker. I'm feeling better about this one. I am feeling a lot better about this one. I think that's it. Will is trolling so hard tonight. Dude, yeah, I know. But I love the energy, guys. Yo, can I get already up inside the chat, baby? All right. I like it. Okay. So, are we good? I think we're good. All right, so let me close that out. All right, let's get really quickly. We have to get to the other stuff. So, here we go. So, I saw this on one of my thread replies, guys. And I think that we should talk about it, okay? So, this is what the person said. No way a girl that small would stand up to blows from an absolute unit like Rey, aka Baylan Skoll was. But this series had so many cringe moments, so there you go. Peak wallpaper? Oh, you saw it? Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I usually have it moving, but when I stream, my computer can't handle it. So what do you guys think about this? I think this is very interesting. No way a girl that small would stand up to blows from an absolute unit like Rey was. But this series had so many cringe moments. No way a girl that small would stand up to blows from Baylan Skoll. Ray Stevenson, rest in peace, you goddamn legend. So, I have some words. I'm not going to say what everybody else is going to say about this post. But since when are we talking about, like, guys versus girls in Star Wars? You know? What are you talking about, dude? I mean, one of the most powerful Jedi in all of Star Wars is a miniature gremlin, 900-year-old gremlin, green gremlin, that can carry mountains. That's Yoda. Have you never heard of Nomi Sunrider or Matrix Zurich? Satil Shan, who's literally throwing Darth Malgus, one of the tankiest tank Sith Lords, through a goddamn mountain. By one of the largest mountains on Alderaan, by the way. I think it's so interesting when people, like, I don't know, like, measure that stick in Star Wars. It's so weird. This is a fantasy universe, science fantasy universe, where laser swords and space wizards go toe-to-toe and, move planets. I don't know, man. I just thought that was really interesting. I mean, this is Ahsoka Tano we're talking about fighting Baylan Skoll. Do we forget that she was, like, going toe-to-toe with Darth Maul and prime-time General Grievous when she was, like, 13 years old? What are we talking about? Are we watching Star Wars with our eyes closed? You know? She's also the apprentice of the Chosen One, the hero of the Republic, Anakin Skywalker. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, guys? Yeah, I just I don't know. That take I thought was really, really, really bad. I honestly don't know if that person actually watches Star Wars. I got it, dude. Like I love the Ahsoka series. It's one of my favorites. But I love it because of the Anakin Skywalker stuff. And I am not blind. I got 4 eyes, guys. Come on. I am not blind to the choreography, to the first 2 episodes, to a lot of the issues that the show's had, But Ahsoka beating, she doesn't even beat Baylan Skoll. But Ahsoka, like, going toe-to-toe with Baylan Skoll? Come on, man. What are we talking about, dude? Ahsoka can push back against his blows with the Force. This is what Sabine. If this is with Sabine, I agree. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. There's a lot of things that Sabine did in that show that I thought were just a little too fast. But again, like I was talking about, I didn't hate the idea of Sabine becoming a Jedi. I just wanted to see it fleshed out more over seasons. You know, Leon says, yeah, they have to improve choreography. Yes, I mean they need to. I mean, like, I have a lot of issues with the Acolyte, but I never talk bad about the Acolyte's choreography. You know, I actually think that if you talk bad about the Acolyte's choreography, I think that you're in the smaller percentage of things, of people that talk about, I don't know, I just think that was one of the best parts of it, you know. If you can give me Acolyte level choreography, at the very least in Ahsoka Season 2, yeah, pretty good. Gage says, feel like she does well against him in the second fight. Oh, I feel like she's not even really fighting him. She's having fun. You know, she seemed way more of the Ahsoka that I remember. I feel like it was really hard to adjust to the Mandalorian Ahsoka because she seemed very, you know, I mean, she's just coming out of the dark times, so it's a little hard for her to be who she always has, especially with everything that's been going on. You know, so I feel like, yeah, I mean, I can understand why she's a little different. But Ahsoka the White, that is a character I really love, and I want to see more. And I think she's very strong. How strong? Not sure, but we'll see. Logan says, them fighting zombies was so cringe, not going to lie. I don't know. I mean, like, did we think Han Solo and Chewbacca fighting zombies in Dark Troopers is cringe? Or is it because you think it's cringe because of the choreography that was really bad? Which, that makes more sense. But, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think the idea of it is cringe. Perhaps the execution? The choreography. Okay. All right. That makes more sense, Logan. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I don't... honestly, the only choreography that I liked was with Hayden. I liked Shin, dude. I thought that actress moved very well. She is very good. Very physical. Like, I think one of the things that always takes me out is, like... one of the things that takes me out sometimes is... when I don't believe a character is moving well or an actor is moving well, that's why I think it's very important for I think the actors and actresses in Star Wars to move very well. You know, this is a choreography. You are a Jedi and or Force user, so I think you have to move. You know, and then you have Ray Park, you know, Darth Maul, and you have Hayden, you know, you have Ian McGregor. There's a lot of people, you know. I mean, dude, even Darth Vader, David Prowse was freaking Mr. Universe, you know. So I think that there is a lot of legacy to live up to. Does it always have to meet up to it? No, but it needs to overcompensate if it doesn't. And I definitely understand that Ahsoka and the Acolyte did not. You know, even Kenobi at times. The other MVP of the show, Shin Hati. Everybody says that about her. I was just glad that she moved really well. Gage says choreography of the zombies is hard even to do against 2 Jedi. I feel like it won't be a problem next season. I think, and all right, and you guys could call me out for this if I'm wrong. I think what's also extremely difficult for Ahsoka, like live action Ahsoka, is 2 lightsabers. You know, Rosario is extremely fit for her age. But I think even the most talented people would struggle with 2 lightsabers, you know, or 2 weapons. I think that is also something that might be shackling the choreography. You know, I think she moves very well, but I think over time it's going to get very hard. I think it's getting hard now, you know, and that's just that is the difference, in my opinion, from a character from animation coming into live action, you know, and I hear that these lightsabers, whatever, these toy lightsabers, props, there you go, Gage, are very hard to make, and they could be heavier, you know. I remember them talking about it in the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian where her hilts were way too wide, you know, and too heavy. So, I don't know. It could just be a lot about stuff, you know. Dyad in the Force. So good to see you guys. Everybody welcome Dyad with a ready up. Dyad in the Force, Chaco and or Element and or just one of them says, we just need to separate what is possible in live action versus animation. That's why they still had to hand adjust the mocap to choreography from Clone Wars Season 7 with Ahsoka versus Maul. What up, dork? Yeah, man, that mocap was amazing. But I agree. And I think what's also interesting, you brought up a really good point, is that Sam Witwer also talks about that, is like the medium of animation is able to do so many things. And I talked about it in my damn Gray Jedi video where I was trying to educate people on what was incorrect about that name and what it represented. Sam Witwer also talks about Starkiller and the Force Unleashed, and how George wanted to execute on this idea because it is the Force being unleashed. And a lot of people don't really understand that's how you wouldn't do Starkiller in the same way of live action. Especially when you read the novelizations, he's a much more nerfed character than what we see in the video games. And people will just, as you know, I'm sure you know of all people, Dyad, how difficult it is for these people to digest reality. Logan says, did you see the synopsis for Mando and Grogu leaked? No. I usually stay away from leaks because, half of my stuff is like reactions and then now more so talking lore. But I don't really like leaks. I try to stay away from any creator that talks about it, honestly. Leon says, the anticipation of Ben Solo's return is starting to feel as big as the anticipation for Luke and Anakin's return, in my opinion. I really respect that character now. I'm so glad, Leon. I'm going to take a lot of credit for that because you guys know I'm very critical of the sequel trilogy, but I love Ben Solo. I just think it's a mistake not to bring him back. I think it was a mistake killing him off. I have this weird... It's probably because all the pitches that I worked with in production and all the shit that I worked on that got shelved. I just don't believe in a story ending. I think that there's always something that you can write about. It doesn't have to be the main characters forever, but the second Death Star blows up and the Empire doesn't just disappear. You go to Exegol and you destroy the temple of the Sith cultists. The Sith don't just disappear. There are other galaxies. There's an entire universe. For that character specifically, Ben Solo, I just felt like the timing was kind of weird, and I don't really feel like it justified everything else, And at the end of that movie, as much as I critique it, I feel like it's not even an ending. Especially with Rey and her igniting her lightsaber, I just like, man, I feel like there needs to be another hour of this movie, and hopefully we'll get more and more of what people really enjoy, despite them disliking it, But that's how I really feel. But I think he's a bright spot, and I don't think he should have been killed off. That's my honest thing about it, Dying in the Force says, oh yeah, in the game you see him pull a destroyer, but in the novel he's steering a destroyer already. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Leon says, yeah, they should have never killed him off, man. I'm never getting over that. Yeah, I think you're in a boat. I think you're in the same boat a lot of sequel fans are, actually. I think there's a lot of sequel fans that was kind of about that, and that's okay, as long as we don't turn it into hate and harass people, But it's okay to be upset and pissed off about it, because I am too. Gage says, I understand killing Vader, but Ben hadn't done a tenth of what he had. Yeah, we talked about the top 15 Jedi, right? And one of the reasons why I love Revan, one of the reasons why I love Eula Keldroma is the idea of atonement and redemption. I love Anakin Skywalker. He's my favorite character, but that dude never atoned, He never tried to absolve or at the very least work to redeem himself. And that's what I wanted with Ben Solo. And I just don't like the idea of a character, doing one good thing and that's it. I think Star Wars deserves more. And you get that in the expanded universe, especially with characters like Eula Keldroma, But, man, I just, I want to see that with Ben. And I hope we do. We'll see. Because I told you guys about my experience on production, and I told you before all that stuff leaked. I was like, dude, they put a shit ton of money in this, and there was concept art, I guarantee you, because that's how pitched works start. And no, lo and behold, a week goes by, and all that stuff was confirmed. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Leon says, it's such an easily avoidable problem. His arc was made so much sense until his death. His death is definitely that made him feel like just Vader 2.0. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't even say Vader 2.0. I would say just less. It's just less. That's all. Diet of the Force says, have you seen my video on how I think Ben could be brought back from the Geisen Sea and the planet? Oh, I saw a little bit of it, but I've been so busy with work. But I have seen a little bit of it. I had Obi-Wan Kenobi on here, and he was also not of the idea. And I was telling him about certain things that I would have done, and he actually liked the idea and was actually okay with him coming back. So I don't know if you've seen, I don't know, it was in a stream, but I've also made a whole bunch of videos. But I'm going to watch your shit because I want to see everybody else's views because I like that. Yeah, I'm going to check that. I will definitely check that. I think you guys should too. Anonymous says, I feel like there was a chance they could have made Ben as strong as in Legend siblings in The Force Awakens and had about $300 million budget in The Rise of Skywalker, had nearly $400 million, yet they made him lose to Rey with plot armor. I mean, Darth Vader loses to Luke Skywalker with plot armor. You know, Anakin Skywalker loses to Obi-Wan Kenobi with plot armor. Why is that an issue? You know? I think, listen, man, like I'm very critical of the sequel trilogy. I would not say that I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I'm a hater either. I just have a lot of questions. But I think the only thing that The Force Awakens does wrong is leave Luke Skywalker out. I think outside of everything else, it's a pretty great movie. And a lot of people talking about like, well, it's a rerun of The New Hope. Great. I like that, you know? But I don't think Rey beating Kylo Ren is something that's even a correct assumption. I think Kylo Ren loses because he just killed his father. He gets shot with a crossbow, a Wookiee crossbow that's literally shooting people into bits and pieces, and Kylo Ren takes it like a goddamn tank. And then he fights Finn, and Finn cuts him in the shoulder, which is the first time we've actually seen him yell and get wounded. And then he gets cut in the face by Rey. But then he stands back up as the planet is being destroyed. So I don't even think it's a loss, bro. I think people were just upset that movie was not the way that they happened. And people get emotional and they get upset. And they saw someone that they didn't like that wasn't a Skywalker beat a Skywalker, and they got upset. I understand completely, but I don't think I don't think that Rey beat her, especially when you see the other movies, man. Like, Rey is not even on Kylo Ren's level, guys. What about The Rise of Skywalker? She gets humiliated. It's not even close, you know? And then when you read the Last Jedi novelization, she's terrified in the throne room. And this is when Snoke is dead, and she's sensing all the Praetorian guards coming at her, and she thinks Snoke is still alive because she senses something darker that's a beast, and then she realizes it's right behind her, and it's Kylo Ren. You know? Obviously, that stuff's not in the movies, but I don't know, man. I just, I never understood that Rey was so strong and overpowered, and Kylo Ren lost. I don't know. It's never something that I don't know, I guess you could say accepted or felt the same way like everybody else. That trilogy has flaws. That trilogy has problems. But that was never one that I really saw what everybody else was seeing. Leon says, yeah, I also feel like there should be explanations for why he was so weak in the sequel trilogy. There is. I think they're there. I think they're all there. You know, especially when you read the novelizations, but not everybody's going to read a book, you know. And I think that is one of the main problems, you know. Leon also says, like, maybe Kylo Ren wasn't weak, but Praetorian Guards, Knights of Ren were ridiculously strong. They were. And Rey is fighting, like, 2 or 3, and Kylo Ren is fighting the rest. You know? I know a lot of us, including myself, are extremely butthurt about The Last Jedi and emotionally compromised. I am too. But when you sit down, you know, and you can just digest what's happening on screen, I think at least the Kylo Ren parts for me, I'm like, wow, he's a badass character. This guy is kicking ass, you know? I think The Last Jedi is Kylo Ren's best movie. You know? Will I continuously watch that movie over and over? Not really. But I watch it for Kylo Ren. Anonymous says, "Oh, trust me, I know Kylo is still a powerhouse. I love his character, but I feel like they could have done so much with such a badass new creation. If Rey, I feel, needed more development." Yeah, I think, but that's what happens when George Lucas isn't making Star Wars, you know. And I'm not saying like the Star Wars that we're getting is bad. I'm just saying like you now have to deal with a new movie and a new story that is not being created by the creator, you know. And so everything is different, just like the expanded universe. I got New Jedi Order right there, right behind me. I got Tales of the Jedi, okay? I got also new canon books. But I guarantee you can even ask Logan himself. You can ask any Legends guy. There is probably a lot of stories that they don't like, that they really dislike, you know? And guess what? We are getting the expanded universe version of movies, and that's a different writer every time. It's a different taste. It's a different, you know, Jedi Connor, my boy, says it's, you know, Star Wars is a buffet, you know, and I think that is correct. You will never get, in my opinion, that George Lucas feel to Star Wars ever again, and that can be an amazing thing and the worst thing ever. But there's definitely a lot of good out there, but when it comes to movies, it's a gamble every time. Because George Lucas created this. And now someone else who is a very good director first may not be the greatest Star Wars fan. They just may like a movie. And that's what we're going to get. Stories in there. That doesn't mean it can be bad Star Wars. But I think it's a risk. Definitely every single time. You know. But Andor's freaking amazing. But Andor's amazing. You know, first 2 seasons of Mandalorian are amazing. Third season's pretty good. I just don't think it's as good as the first 2. Skeleton Crew is great. You know, Star Wars Visions is amazing, and that's biased because you guys know my affiliation with it. You know, there's a lot of good stuff out there. But yeah, I understand everybody's issues with the movies, guys. You know, third season of Mando is overhated. Dude, Gage, I agree. I agree, man. I liked that season. I watch it a lot. I don't watch it as much as the first 2 seasons because I love the first 2 seasons. But I watch it a lot, you know. If it were up to me, I'd explain their history more and explain those fights. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there isn't enough expanded universe content for sequel trilogy characters, and it's probably because they're just too afraid to do stuff outside of Kylo Ren. You know, I agree too. I disagree. Leon says, the King Grid says, Kanan Jarrus is the original canon Jedi survivor. We know his life from start, from the end to multiple plot points, and fights both internal and external. Yeah, I mean, Kanan, he's a great character. I've come to really appreciate him. There's only like one episode in season 3 that isn't passable. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. I mean, there's parts of them that I think is whatever, but I think every season has that one episode that's a little hard. I don't know, man. I love season 1 and 2. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it. I got to get ready for work, but I hope you guys enjoyed. We are so close, by the way, to 10,000 subscribers, guys. And it's all because of all of you are freaking joining everything on YouTube Live and watching the shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's been amazing, guys. I honestly feel very important. You guys are giving me a lot of value, and it feels pretty good. Leon says, do you think you can kick our asses in Revenge of the Sith game? Probably. I mean, you might win, but I don't think so. It might just, but you never know, man. I'm pushing 40, so Unk may not have the fighting game desire that he used to, you know. But there's games you could absolutely destroy me in. We'll see. Yeah, but we'll get to that point. I really wish that we could play games together, though. Like have like an MMO or something. I know Star Wars: The Old Republic is out there, but man, we should see one day. Yeah, dude, absolutely, guys. But you know what? It's about that time. I hope you guys enjoyed everything today. Please go ahead and tell your friends. Let's get some subscribers. We are so close to 10K, guys. And as always, man, Gage, Grand Kid, Leon, everybody, Anonymous, oh my God, Will, Diet, Mortis, Leon, oh my freaking gosh, Bugsy, Trent, and of course, Anthony, everybody, Skywalker Academy, all the people inside the chat, You know where we're coming from all the time, man. Inside the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many other Force sensitives like yourself, I am Lord Dagovere, and I'll see you around. Deuces.